Hello, it's Adam Morrison. When it comes to top-tier contracting, my go-to choice is McGilvery Environmental. I know a thing or two about excellence, and that's exactly what you'll find with Kip McGilvery and his team. They're not just any contractor, they're the best in Spokane and North Idaho. From start to finish, they ensure your project is completed with the highest quality results. With years of experience and expertise, they handle it all. New construction, meticulous repairs, asphalt paving for residential and commercial properties, excavation, and even environmental remediation. So why wait? Reach out to Kip McGilvery Environmental today by calling 208-556-6384 for your free estimate. Don't forget to mention my name, Adam Morrison, and experience the difference McGilvery Environmental brings to the table. Again, that's 208-556-6384, McGilvery Environmental. My number one choice for all my contracting needs. We're very excited to announce a new partner to the Perimeter Podcast, M4 CPA. M4 CPA is a family-owned accounting firm passionate about helping businesses and their owners create a secure future for their families. They pride themselves on the quality of their work and put their clients first, ensuring they get the attention and care they deserve. Their mission is to provide exceptional accounting services to help you achieve your financial goals. M4 CPA is all about building long-term relationships based on trust, integrity, and transparency. With a team of experienced professionals, they offer personalized solutions to meet your needs. If you're a Perimeter listener, here's an exclusive offer for you. Mention the Perimeter Podcast when you reach out to M4 CPA and get a free business consultation to assess your financial strategies. So, if you're looking for an accounting firm that truly cares about your business, trust M4 CPA. They're in your corner every step of the way. M4 CPA, accounting you can trust with a personal touch. Learn more at m4cpa.com.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog-branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Welcome back. Premiere episode, season 5 of the Perimeter, sponsored by McGilvery Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, and M4 CPA. It's good to be back. How you doing, Brennan?
I'm doing great.
Doing good?
Yeah. It's
good
been
summer?
Good summer. Good. Nice to be like. I know we did one episode last year, the very final episode of the Perimeter last season here, but like being in the new studio has been amazing, and it's
this is a better shake.
Yeah,
just being honest.
Yeah, it looks
Not
better.
that the other place wasn't bad, but this is more comfortable.
Yeah,
a little more modern feel.
Definitely.
New logo, by the way. Good job on that. I like it. It's a little more crisp.
Yeah, no,
it's clean.
My friend Joshua Thomas from Legit Creative. I got in touch with him to help me do a new logo, help us do a new logo, and he killed it. He's actually, and he has major connections to basketball in Spokane. He played at CV, played at Eastern.
Nice.
And he was all over it. And I thought we just needed something fresh and that appealed to our listeners.
Yeah, no, I like it. I can't wait for the shirts and the gear to come out.
Yeah.
And we'll get that out to the fans and stuff. And, we're not just doing it to make a buck here. It's just kind of cool for the listeners, stickers and all those things. So we'll get that going. We're going to recap Kraziness in the Kennel that happened on Saturday. Good event, a ton of new players. I'm going to go a little bit into that. So, it'll be a good episode, but it's kind of always the first recap, and then I deep dive in the second episode of, conference, non-conference schedule, new players. Then we're going to have Tom Hudson on, who's one of my favorite guests to have because he kind of helps me dive into that. But I thought it was a good showing for our guys. I've said it in the past. It's always... Kraziness in the Kennels is a twofold thing. You want to look good. You're not going to show as much. You're excited to be out there, but also you kind of run the same things. You have to take things with a grain of salt. Some guys, for example, like Graham's terrific. He didn't play good, but he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. And then some guys played great, but you don't know if they've had, a bad 2 weeks of practice, then played good, and vice versa. But then you can also argue, okay, some guys are gamers and some guys are better practice players. What do you like when the lights come on? I thought the presentation was decent. I think Sean Farnham does a terrific job. Hiring MC was the right thing to do. But it was a little long.
Yeah.
It got it dragged out for my liking. Now, I'm saying that as somebody that has to talk during the whole time. And when there's no live action going on, it's kind of hard. And it's harder than it sounds. And everybody's, listening, probably rolling their eyes. But I'm like, when the game's going, you can talk about the game. Me and Huddy are like just kind of having a conversation about what's going on. Sometimes it's like, and Sean Farnham's grabbing a mic and announcing because you can't hear it on the radio.
Right.
So after a while, it's like, is there anything coming up here? Like, holy shit.
Because they just do the 3-point contest and then a scrimmage.
Then the scrimmage, but, obviously they introduced the players, which I think is cool, and the staff. And then I thought it was neat this year. They brought out all those trophies and then had everybody, Coach Few come out, and I laughed on air. They had him come out of his office, and then they put a spotlight on him and had him walk down, and I'm sure he was happy about that. That idea that they were like, hey, Coach, you want to do this? And he was probably like, no, but I will. But you could just see the uncomfortableness. He's great on the mic, but just walking down, which I can totally relate. When you have a camera on you or a spotlight on you, all of a sudden it gets harder to walk, it's harder to tie your shoes. You start questioning your whole body image real quick. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're just like, why is everybody staring at me? So I had a chuckle because I was like, 15 years ago, he would have told him, hell no, I'm not doing this.
Right.
But so he battled through it. Obviously, a ton of new players. Again, we'll talk a little bit about it. I'd like to deep dive in the next episode. This is what we've done in the past, is when I get Huddy on here. Obviously, my partner calls the radio on 590 KQNT. Again, you can listen to that on iHeartRadio. So I'm going to keep reminding people
Yes, do.
that you can listen to our pregame and postgame if you want to watch it on television, but you can still hear us describe it. There's no magical app. I have people like, I can't listen to the games. I'm like, iHeart is free.
Yeah.
It's on iHeart. You just turn it on and then boom, you're good.
I will say it's also on
The Varsity
the
app
Varsity
too.
Network app, and that's where I listened on Saturday when I was there to listen to your and Huddy's commentary, and that was easy to use as well. So
Yeah, it's super easy. And the reason I'm saying it's not that doesn't even promote our show. It's just I know fans, are tuning in to listen to my analysis. Well, if you want to hear it before and then post game of kind of what the thoughts are, then put it on your phone, turn it on real quick.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like the old school style. I wish it was live, but we've talked about that before. That's the 5-second Janet Jackson rule.
definitely.
That's why it's not live, and it'd be cool, but we got to get the censorship stuff. But I thought, I thought it was interesting. Just a quick side note that they put Graham and Braden on the same team. You think they'd match up against each other. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But then I was like, yeah, you probably don't want them going against each other. What's the point?
Right.
And then they're going to be playing a ton with each other. So that made sense. But the biggest thing for me going into it, and again, I'm going to deep dive a little bit more next episode, but it's perimeter play. What's that look like for us? And obviously this is a tiny sample size, but I want to see how Braden Smith looks, the kid out of Colgate, that redshirted last year. Huge shoes to fill.
Yes.
I mean, replacing Nemhard, who broke the single season record of assists. It was like 360 or 344, I think. I think I saw, but whatever. It's a single season record, which is crazy. 2 back to backs of Nemhard. So one's in the NBA, the one that just signed with the NBA, the brothers. And as everybody knows, it's point guard basically here. Obviously we have great bigs, but the point guard position is very touted at Gonzaga. It's kind of, it's like being the quarterback. And people put you under a microscope. So I'm interested to see how he can handle, I guess, that pressure, and then how he performs. Now, I think it's a simple job in the fact that you got two really good bigs inside, and Braden and Graham Ike, who are fantastic, are legit All-American candidates, like legit, Can you just get them the ball in the right spots and then just be solid? Right. And that's I talked a lot about it on the broadcast, and I'm going to talk about it here. Is a ton of pressure, but he doesn't have to perform in a sense of scoring the basketball. I think he just has to flatten the defense out with his his speed, and then just make the right decisions. So I'm curious to see that. I thought the point guard, the backup kid from Spain, Mario Supri, I think is his name. I'm just going to call him Mario all year, and it's not trying to be funny. It's just like June. It's just, I don't want to mess his name up. It's Supri or something like that. I thought he was all right. He did have 4 turnovers, but some of them were like trying to make plays, and I've talked about it in the past. If you have end-line turnovers, you're trying to make a read, I can live with them. So I thought the point guard play was solid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the one question I had about the whole point guard play, because I've kind of came into the Kraziness not really knowing the roster at all.
Shoot, who you talking to, man? Like and I probably should have, usually I start diving into the minutia of the roster, but this year I was like, man, there's so many new guys. I got to kind of see them first, because everybody, we've talked about it in the past too, is everybody, if they're coming to Gonzaga, they're obviously good.
Right.
And then everybody's, this guy's going to be the best. And it happened to so many guys in the past where they get overhyped, and it's no fault of their own.
Yeah.
But then they don't pan out, and then everybody's disappointed. And I'm like, I kind of want to see him first.
Yeah.
Before I get on here or get on a broadcast, be like, he's going to be great. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
It happened to June.
Yeah, it definitely happened to June.
I mean, he had a great FIBA for, he did. He had a great U19 tournament, which is a big thing. And he looked the part, but he just never he didn't really get a chance. But it's also kind of like, man, what do you guys expect him to be? Like BC or like Rui? It's like, I think that's not realistic.
Not fair. Yeah.
And so, with all the other additions, what I'm trying to get at is like, there's so many good transfers, air quotes. Can't play them all.
No.
And so who's going to really fit? So I'm curious.
The question I had, because like Braden played on the Navy team, so he didn't get a chance to play with Graham and Braden. Braden ran point a couple times on the court. And
Braden Huff.
Braden Huff, thank you.
Yeah.
And
trust me, I'm going to be doing all the year, so it's going to be like, you got to make sure which one.
Yeah. Braden Huff played point sometimes on the white team, and I was like, is that going to be something that happens a lot in the season?
Well, I mean, they started doing that kind of with Drew. Remember, he'd bring it up, and traditionalists be like, what the hell is it? I think you just do it to run your action right away. Like, you don't do it completely.
Right.
And it's probably one of those where it happens 3 to 4 times a game. Because you see it in the NBA. I mean, obviously, Jokic is one of the greatest players of all time, but he started doing it with the Nuggets, where he would just bring it down.
Right.
And then they'd run their action for Jamal Murray or a shooter. And then you're like, well, shit, how do we guard this now? Because our big is not going to come out to the perimeter, but now he has every passing lane that he can imagine. Yeah, I mean, so I think that gives relief for your guards, and then you can run a zoom action with him, which is going to go to him, which is a down screen to a DHO or a DHO just in general.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. But it is kind of weird when you first see it. You're like, where's this 6'11" guy bringing it up, or 6'10" guy? But I think in today's game, you kind of have to have that skill set. Doesn't mean you have to go behind your back and spin dribble in the backcourt, just get it up the floor. And a lot of times bigs are like, well, do I guard him up here? You know what I mean? Because you've been taught your whole life to be in the paint kind of and help and defensively. And now it's like, do I pressure him? You know what I mean? So it was curious, though, that Braden Smith didn't play on the same team as the two bigs, two lefties. Isn't it funny? Our 3 bigs are all lefties.
That is funny.
Because what's his name again? Dejane.
Oh yeah.
It was who had a great couple games last year, and I think he's going to be. He actually looked pretty good.
He did look great. Yeah,
he looked great, and so it's like we have 3 6'11" lefties that are really skilled. It's kind of odd.
It is. I mean, he was going toe to toe with Graham.
Yeah, he looked great. I was like, okay, he made a step, and he had that Santa Clara game last year.
Yeah,
that saved us. Remember, we were kind of down in the dumps. I can't remember if somebody got hurt or somebody got in foul trouble, and he came into that first half and kind of went bonkers. But it was one of those if you look at his numbers, they weren't crazy, but it just gave everybody shot in the arm. Like when everybody's. It's just, everybody's played sports, or just somebody at work that just kind of does something that you're like, hell yeah, man. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck yeah. That's what it was. And he kind of got everybody going. And so I thought he looked good. I was curious to see that too, because Graham and Braden can't play all the minutes.
No.
And traditionally, and I've talked about this in the past, if you've listened, is we've gone to the European style, 3 bigs, 3 wings, 3 guards. Obviously that's 9, but then we whittle it down. But that's kind of how you do your substitution patterns, and it keeps everybody happy. You kind of play everybody 17 to 28 minutes, and then your good guys play in the upper 20s and blah, blah, blah. That's what we've done in the past. So I thought he was terrific. But again, I think it's the perimeter play that's going to be the biggest thing for me. Chente, did he make a jump? Is what I'm curious. I think he looked fine, but obviously we need more sample size. I liked the Adam Miller kid from Arizona State, the lefty. I thought he shot it well, looked good coming out of his hands. The kid, what's the kid's name?
Davis Fogel?
No, excuse me. The Grant Foster, who just got included. Didn't play great, but he looked the part. And so I'm not, again, sometimes it's grain of salt. I thought Davis Fogel looked pretty good for a freshman. It's just so weird now that you never see like 18-year-old freshmen. So I'm just wondering if he's going to play.
Right.
And I thought he was fine. He looked great. Like he's long. He's a top 40 recruit. Played at a high-level prep schools from the West Side. Just a side note for the psycho Gonzaga fans or the older ones, that I think he ran through Tyler Amaya's AU program. Tyler was at Gonzaga before I was there as a freshman, then transferred, but we still consider him a Zag. Yeah. So it's kind of cool, you know what I mean? Like, so another Zag connection type of deal. And so he was great. There wasn't anybody that looked bad. And I mean that. And I would, me on the show, I'd probably say it nicely, but I would be like, oh, you didn't look very good. There was nobody that looked like they weren't in the gym.
No, everyone was but even like, I know we're probably not going to talk about this guy in the podcast at all this year, but Noah Holland, like he picked
he had a couple. Yeah, he had a couple buckets. And I was happy for him. Kid from Rathdrum, so a local kid, and he played in NAIA, and then he obviously transferred back. But yeah, I thought everybody looked the part. Like I said, the Mario kid, Saint Superi, I think is how you pronounce it, looked fine. Is the quote unquote backup point guard. He's got nice size, made good decisions. Turned the ball over a little bit too much. Had 5 turnovers, but some of them were fine. But also, like, he had that behind the back that got tipped, and I immediately tried to look to see Coach Few, and I couldn't find him. I was like, all right, let's see what the reaction to this one. Couldn't find him, but I was like, that one probably didn't go over very well. But yeah, and so again, like I will deep dive next episode on what I think how the rotation will go, and Huddy will help with that because he's so good at it, and obviously, I know my stuff, but he'll we'll pair it off each other a little bit and compare and contrast. But all in all, the team looked fine. That happens every year, though. Yeah. And so it's kind of one of those deals where you take what you want. Now, the best performance, and it's not just because of the points, was Steele Venters. Yes. And I've said it, and I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again. I hope everybody gives this kid the fair shake of the benefit of the doubt of having 2 major surgeries back to back. He moved terrifically. He looked like his body was there. It's still a long road. And I'm saying that because I've gone through an ACL. He had an ACL and an Achilles. So I hope that he, has a chance in the rotation, which I think he will, because he gives us a perimeter threat from shot. But I hope if he goes 0 for 3 one game, people don't be like, hey, sucks. Right. You get what I'm saying? Because he deserves the opportunity to kind of work back himself into his game. Absolutely. Timing, body. I looked terrific. I was very happy for him. So hopefully that continues, but I don't want to, be like, oh, he's completely back. For the kids, mental and going through a similar situation myself. I tore my ACL my second year in the league, just that type of injury. And then, I obviously didn't do Achilles, but back to back, being a Big Sky Player of the Year, being excited to move up to a bigger program, all those things from Ellensburg. So semi-local, right? I just want to help everybody. And I always remind them, let's just make sure that we're giving him a fair shake on what he can do. Yeah. Because those are 2 major surgeries. He moved great, and I was happy for him, and I hope it continues. So that was a very good positive, going into it. Because, again, with our 2 bigs, what's our perimeter shooting going to look like? Yeah. and that's something that we struggled with last year, and that was kind of our Achilles heel. Remember, there was that weird stat when we shot when we made less than 5 threes, we were 0 for. So we had some weird stat last year that was just like gross.
Yeah.
Where if we didn't make threes, we weren't very good.
Right.
Or we shot in our losses, we shot 20%. Or it was something like that. Yeah. Like we just couldn't make shots, and I've talked about it too. It's a make or miss league. It's an old NBA saying, and it's no different in college. Like you can draw up all the sets you want. You can do whatever you think is the right scheme. If you don't make shots, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It's like if football, you can't throw it to the wide open guy and you can't catch it. Well, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So all in all, I was impressed, but also I'm a pessimist by nature. I'm a glass half full guy. Or half empty, and I just don't think we can get too far ahead of ourselves on kind of view on how they are. The beauty is, like I said, we have 2 really good bigs that came back.
The Perimeter will be right back after a word from our sponsor.
It's time for Home Team Rewards. Zag fans, get your Bulldog branded ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card, the only card where you can earn rewards for everyday purchases while giving back to Gonzaga University. Choose from a Visa Rewards card with a lower rate or a Premier Rewards card with maximum rewards. With no annual fees, card control, and next-level security, you can spend smart from tap to app. Zags, rejoice! Find your card at iccu.com/GoZags on approved credit.
Kind of view on how they are. The beauty is, like I said, we have 2 really good bigs that came back that played together late last season when it was crunch time and played well together. We're going to be back to kind of it's kind of weird to say old school, but like 5, 7 to 8 years ago, Zags, where we had 3 really good bigs, but true bigs.
Yeah.
But 2 of them are going to be on the floor most of the time. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see Graham and Braden Huff coming out of the games. I mean, they're obviously gonna get rest, but they're gonna play a lot.
Yeah, they're gonna play a lot, and they're gonna run a lot of stuff through them, which they should. We're gonna see a lot of high-low trail stuff that we haven't seen in a long time. We're gonna see the old, side ball screen to a sit. With a middle drive to a swivel, try to get a guy in a seal, and then if he fronts, there's a flash from the big and throw the high-low. I mean, that's what we saw with Shimmy, Zebo, J3, Rui, BC. Like, that's going to be. We're going back to that. Yeah. Now, in theory, you play a little bit slower, but a lot of times you're a little bit more efficient because a lot of your shots are closer to the rim, just simple math. So the scoring, I don't think is going to go down. Maybe the possession number will. But the counter is we got to make threes because they're going to get double team packaged or zoned. If I were playing against us, I'd probably try it. Yeah. Because those are 2 really big bodies that are skilled, and then they're lefties. I know it sounds funny, but it's just so hard to constantly your whole life you're guarding mostly righties, and then you go play really skilled lefties. You're like, shit, I got to jump to the side. It's just different. And so I was impressed. I wish they would speed up the the whole deal. But Kraziness Kennel is a great event. People get to go to it that sometimes don't get to go to games. Yeah. I understand all that. I just wish they do a dunk contest too. I don't know why they don't do it anymore. It's stupid.
Oh, they used to do one.
Yeah, they used to do one, but that's when we had like leapers.
Oh, yeah.
So we had like Rui. We had BC that year. I think. Zach Norvell could dunk pretty good. I think J3 could dunk pretty good. Like if you just go down the list, you're like, oh, we actually did it. But now we have like slap the backboard guys.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm wondering who could. Adam Miller looks like a guy that could throw down some dunks.
The Grant Foster, I guess, is the one that's the leaper, but he'd be the only one. Yeah. So anyway, I think it was kind of like, okay, let's start the game. It's weird they did that soccer thing too. I just was trying to figure out what they were doing.
They were introducing the soccer team because they came out.
That's what it was. And I had my headset on, so I was like, "What is it doing?"
Because they were playing a game on Saturday night at 7. They were like, "Hey, come out to the soccer game."
Promoting. I get that, but I was like, "Why do they have the European guys, playing futsal or whatever?" And I said it on air though. It's, obviously I played with a bunch of international guys, and everybody can like juggle. Comparison to American
right,
Americans, you're like, wow, and then you're like, and I said it on there, it's like, Well, then after they do that, just tell them to throw a football. Then see what that looks like, because it's funny. Like, I've played with European guys that can juggle, and then you're like, sometimes we do like football routes for like conditioning, just like change it up, and then like it's like, all right, there's the difference. You guys can juggle. You all learn how to do it. We all learn how to throw a baseball and a football, right? We all kind of do. It's like a
Totally.
It's like a past, American thing that you just all kind of learn how to throw a football, at least somewhat,
Right.
growing up. You know what I mean? Like, okay, but so anyway, I was like, make them throw a football, and then we can laugh at them. So yeah, it was cool. I was happy to see, the new guys, and again, I'm gonna really delve into what I think their roles will be. Next episode with Huddy, and we'll talk about the non-conference and the conference schedule. It's a beautiful non-conference schedule. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Kudos again to Coach Few for, kind of going out on a limb. And it's a big year, man. It's the last year of the WCC. I mean, it's weird to think, but the new Pac-12 is going to come in. It's basically the Mountain West Light or whatever, and people probably don't like me saying that, but it's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, man, we want to go out in style. In the last 2 years, we haven't won the regular season. When we won the tournament last year, and then the year before, we lost it. And so let's make sure we get this done. I'm curious to see how St. Mary's looks. All the other programs, it's so weird now with NIL and transfer portal. I'm even so tired of even saying that all the time, but you don't know every year. And so, a lot of the times, especially this season, like I went to this, I did my little research, but I was like, I just need to see these guys. But I was like, who's that? I literally had to look at the number and be like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, it's not even trying to be funny. I mean, we got two freshmen that are the Fogel kid and the kid out of Texas, number 34. What's his name? Something. Anyway, he looked all right. I heard he was good. You know what I mean? So it's just like, they probably won't see the 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just interesting.
That's the one thing that's very,
That's one easy. Keep going. Sorry.
It's one of those things that, like, we were here last year. We just, the
32, Parker Jefferson.
Jefferson, yeah. We know that obviously Braden Huff, Graham Ike, they're obviously starting, but like the rest is just kind of in because there's what am I looking for? Steele Venters, we don't know where he'll land in the lineup.
100%.
Like in a Chinte, like
yeah, I mean he was terrific last season. He kind of took Dusty Stromer's minutes. He did.
Yeah, he did.
Not kind of. He took his minutes.
Yeah.
It carved out a role. So it's like, okay, what does that look like for him? But then they bring in Adam Miller, and then they bring the kid from GCU. Hopefully gets clear. That's supposed to be a big time athlete. He was Mountain West what conference are they in? Grand Canyon? I forgot. Anyway. WAC.
WAC, yeah.
Is it the WAC? Anyway, he was player of the year. Their average 20. He was the kid that when St. Mary's came to Spokane, they killed him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he was a matchup problem. He's 6'7", he's long, he's big, got a big trunk, really athletic, can shoot, drive, all those things. It really gave St. Mary's issues. And then he could post up from like the 15-foot. You know what I mean? Like just a weird matchup problem. So what does he look like in our system? And then again, Braden Smith is a big question mark for me. And that's not a knock. It's just, all right, I got to see it. But also, your job's pretty simple. You can throw it, hit these guys on the roll and throw it to your big guys. They're going to count as assists. You can look at, 10 and 8 pretty simply. Yeah. And then be like, well, now you're talking like having a high level season. He was player of the year in the Patriot League 2 years ago. And so he's good. Yep. It's just big shoes to fill, man. I mean, we were spoiled the last 2 years or two generations or 2 seasons or whatever with both the Nemhards. And obviously we had Perk before that. I mean, you just go down the list of how many great point guards that just take care of the basketball and don't make, bad decisions and what have you. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, but that's the question mark for me. That's going to come up, and we'll talk about it more in the next episode. We got some new segment stuff this season. We got the Foundation Player of the Week presented by McGilvery Environmental, then the stat of the show presented by M4 CPA, then we'll have the Ask Adam questions like we did last year from Idaho Central Credit Union. So hit us up on the YouTube page, the Instagram and all that stuff. I think it's going to be terrific. We got some new things. We're going to try to improve our flow as we keep doing it. This is season 5. It's been great.
Yeah, season 5 of.
I know. Who knows? Who would have thought? It's like those. Who would have thought from that show where they eat the wings or whatever? That Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Yeah.
He's like, who would have thought? But it's true. Like first couple of years, we were in. We were in no man's land with some other people.
Right.
And so we got through the woods, and it's going to be a terrific season. It's always fun. I love doing this type of stuff because I can say what I want, kind of give everybody the true analysis. But again, please, people, listen on the radio just for the fact that you can delve into what I'm talking about before the game and then post game. And to be honest, like if you maybe put $1 on the game, the post-game show would help you make your decision.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with gambling, but I'll give you some insight that you're not going to hear from a national broadcast.
No,
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? So, like, for that reason, and again, it's just 590 KQNT on iHeart. That's all you need, or from the Varsity app. So there's no, like, special thing that you need or whatever, man.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, I've gone as far as syncing the audio that you guys have with the TV sometimes.
Yeah,
and
that's
it makes
possible.
It makes it so much better. But maybe I'll do a video on how to do.
You should actually. That'd be cool. Isn't there an app or something?
There must be an app. I was talking to Abby last night. We were watching the Mariners, my wife, and I was like, I not want to listen to national broadcast. I want to listen to Mariners radio.
Yep.
and I feel the same way when we're listening to national stuff on Gonzaga. Is I love getting your and Huddy's insight from it.
And again, people like the hometown call.
Yeah.
Because there's more insight to it, obviously, and then it's obviously homered, but who cares? And you don't get the generic stuff, and so I get it. But it used to be you could just turn it on and turn on the game, and put it on mute. But it's a 5-second delay from the halftime show. It's weird that some people don't know why, and then you tell them, you're like, oh, it's from that. It's like, yeah, man, like
Jan Jackson.
Yeah, it was the right boob, and all the little kids in America are like, what? Wow, we have to go through this talk real quick, and I wasn't prepared for it as a parent. You know what I mean? That's why all their parents were like, okay, I thought it was your turn to have this talk. No, it's my turn. You know what I mean? Like, oops. So yeah, it's going to be a fun season. We're going to have player interviews as well. We're going to try to get them on like we've done in the past. And any guests that come up, I'll do some former players too. It's nice to catch up, change the perspective too. I like to hear from guys around town that obviously watch, and even like a Dan Dickow or like a Richard Fox who do the TV games because their perspective is different.
Yeah.
I like to hear from them, and because I talk to them at the games too, and our opinions vary on players and who deserves this, and what's Fewy doing, not in a bad way, but sometimes you go like, well, why are we doing this? And then if you hear somebody else's perspective, especially from a different position, Dan was obviously a point guard, Richard Fox was a big, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying, that, okay, you know what I mean? So we're going to bring that to the show, and we appreciate people listening. It's going to be a great season. So tune in next week. We're going to have, like I said, Tom Hudson, voice of the Zags, one of my good friends, and we'll have that episode next week.
Awesome. Yeah, you're going to go deep into it, and I can't wait to hear the insight.
Yeah.
So.
And he's so good on his prep work. And so, as usual, I'm just going to just ride his coattail and take all the credit for it. But he's terrific, and it's one of my favorite episodes because he just got a great perspective. He's been doing it for 25 years. He just kind of knows, how it progresses and blah blah blah, and so he's the best at it. And
he's seen it all.
He's literally seen it. He called my games. Yeah, and that's not to date him, but he's just like he's seen the entire Gonzaga ride. Like the only thing he wasn't there was from the start, but that's when KXLY had it.
Oh, right.
And then whoever Krem or whatever had it, and he was working TV. And,
right.
He just got it somehow. He's like, I'll do it. And they're like, okay. And then,
rest is history.
Yeah, rest is history. And he's had unbelievable calls. I mean, if you go down the list, that like if somebody needs to do it, somebody will eventually. Like of all the, great NCAA tournament moments, like his calls are like perfect. There's never a slip. You know what I mean? And that's hard to do. I don't think people realize, like, you have to be prepared for that, but you got to also make it not sound scripted.
Right.
But you can't just go in like blind. Like, you have to know, okay, you know, to the 9th time going to the Sweet 16, you can't just be, you know what I mean? Like, you got to give something for it. Like our UCLA call when Jalen Suggs, I'm screaming over the top of him, and he still gets through the call.
Yeah.
Like that, I could have ruined it. And after, I was like, I almost like literally fucked that whole thing up. And one of the greatest moments in Zag history, a bank shot in the Final Four to go to the final.
Yeah.
And I'm screaming like a child, and he still gets through the call. So, like, he's really good at what he does. And so it's going to be a great episode. Appreciate everybody listening. Thank you to our sponsors, McGillivray Environmental, Idaho Central Credit Union, M4 CPA. See you next week.